welcome to Knit One, Part 2.
Episode 70.
Yay! I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie on Ravelry and Penny Winnie 2 elsewhere.
If you've gotten some recent draw sums from me, like within the last day or two, I think they were my son's. Did you know? You didn't? Okay, never mind. He didn't do it. He asked me if he could, but it's not bad. Some people guess them. So I want to say thank you for any new viewers who are coming to check us out. We always appreciate it. And welcome back to the returning viewers. Thanks for
putting up with us. Cool.
We have 2 knit-alongs going that are going through the end of August. The Sparkle Yarn knit-along, anything you knit with Sparkle Yarn will be counted. And then the Ruby Slipper knit-along. If you knit the Ruby Slipper, we have a separate thread. You can be entered as long as it's a finished picture. And if you knit it with Sparkle Yarn, you can enter it on both threads.
Yep, you can double dip.
Yep. And the winner of the Sparkle Yarn, the winner of the contest for What Should I Knit Next will be announced at the end.
Yep, and we have our ongoing Tour de Fleece thread. I'll talk about that later, but that contest we'll draw for it after the Tour de Fleece is over.
Which is the end of next week, so
yes.
We'll draw for it probably the first week of August.
Yeah.
So, on the dance card, I don't know who goes first.
I'm pretty sure it's you.
Well, I'll go first because really I have nothing really to show. I have not knit very much this week. I've been reading, and work the other day was just a nightmare. So I did try and knit during work. But my zombie barbecue socks, I like that there is a pattern emerging. You can see it here. I got the reds on one side and the grays on the middle. It's just a plain old stockinette. I still haven't decided what heel design I'm going to do, whether I'm going to do a gusset or a short row heel.
Yeah.
I haven't figured that out yet. So that's it. This is Lorna's Laces. It's called Sport Mate, and that's 70% wool. 70% wool. Will's in here somewhere. 70% wool, 30% they list as other on Ravelry, which is the 30% Outlast, which is a viscose fiber.
Right.
And I meant to look it up before I recorded today, what exactly Outlast was, because like I said, I've seen it on a mattress commercial advertising that
it regulates temperature.
It regulates the temperature somehow, so I'm interested to see how this works.
That's cool.
I really like knitting with it. It's a nice, it's got some stretch to it like regular wool, but not a lot of stretch.
Cool.
So, and I'm using, I believe, US 1.5s. I'll tell you in a minute. Because I am using the Chaogu needles that have them listed, and it is 1.5, so 2.5 millimeter needles.
Cool.
And that's all I got on the needles.
That is all she has on the needles. That's
I'm
crazy,
sorry.
man.
I do plan on adding more stuff.
She's on vacation next week. Ain't gonna happen.
Summer's just not being really good to me. It's too hot. With the weather we've been having, it's just really too hot.
And there's a lot going on with the kids at home.
And we have my mother-in-law
vacationing
here.
And relatives. It's just summer's crazy, man.
It can be.
For me, on the dance card, Creature Comforts cardigan, still on the floor of my living room. Have not knit on it, just mentioning it here. I'm not even going to give you the details about it anymore because really, like, if you're just tuning in today, you have no idea what it is. It's still on my radar.
Get back to us at September, October.
When the weather cools down, I'll be back on that project because that'll be a great fall sweater.
Yeah, it will be.
So, yeah, no love on that. The second thing, I got a stitch. I had a stitch marker point. I got to knit one stitch so that I don't
lose it.
Yeah. Just see where I am with this. All right, there we go. The second thing on the needles are my Loud and Proud socks. They are knit out of Play at Life, which is an Etsy store, Saki Maki, in the Loud and Proud colorway. That's what the original skein looked like. It has
it's a
exploded
two-skein
in my
pair
bag.
of socks.
This is the one that I'm currently working on. I'm almost at the yellow.
Yay.
Worked on this quite a bit because I have been to rehab, physical therapy, rehab. They said I ought to go to rehab, and I said no. Yeah, physical therapy. So I'm playing around. This is the, oops, there we go. Why am I not doing this right? There's the cable I'm putting on the back. I've separated it. I think I'm going to make a loop, and then as it gets a little bit bigger, I'm going to add stitches in there to make a gusset up the back of the leg, because this is going to be really tall, because I still have, you know, all of this to go. And then I'm working cables on either side of the front. I was thinking I might do something in the middle. I might make the cables go across, like, I don't know. I'm just making it up as I go. I'm having fun with it. You know, this is really like a sampler sock to me. You can see I did the slip stitches there, and I did some slip stitches there. And I'm just playing around with some sock ideas, and who knows, maybe I'll make a free sock pattern out of one of these ideas at some point. But I'm just using my standard toe-up sock recipe. It's 64 stitches around. I did a standard slip stitch heel. I use Wendy Johnson's slip stitch heel because I like the way she does the double, wraps, so that there is. I'm pointing this out to you, dramatic knits. No holes. No holes. And because I know Steve doesn't like those slip stitch heels. Those holes in the slip stitch heel, short row heel. What am I saying? So yeah, just playing around with it. Pretty soon I'll be in the yellow. I'll do something different for the yellow. I don't know. And the second sock might be completely different.
It's okay.
I like this. It's my knitting for working out when I'm on the elliptical or on the at the physical therapy center. And when I'm being iced at the end, I have to sit with my leg in this like weird thing, and it's a whole thing. So I'm enjoying that. That's Play It Life Socky Maki, which you can get at the Play It Life Etsy store, and it comes as 2 gradient rolls. They look like bless you. Bless you. They look like maki rolls that you can get in sushi.
Excuse me, Max. Do you have any tissues?
And I'm knitting them on 1.5 2.5 millimeter needles, and just making it up as I go along. So the next thing that I was working on while Sheila was talking.
Thank you.
We have Kleenex now.
Sorry.
You know what?
My
nose
allergies been
is
horrible.
running. Well, I forgot to take my allergy medicine this morning. I realized on the way over here because I sneezed like 4 times in the car, and I was like, oh no.
There's something in the air right now that my nose does not like, because I'll go on a sneezing fit of like 20 sneezes.
Oh,
where
yeah.
I'm like, just. So
I
apologize.
know that feeling. So this is Judy B by Kimberly Gintar. It's getting really big. I have knit on this. I am more than halfway done. I think the halfway point was here.
Pretty.
I've done this much more. I like working on this. I love the way it feels. I hated spinning this base, but I love this yarn so much. This is Into the World hand spun Polworth silk blend. I think it was 85-15, 85 Polworth 15 silk in the Gweeder colorway, and it was plied with one of the coordinates. So it's marled because it's a multicolored yarn or a contrast yarn spun together with a more solid color so that you can see the contrast of the yarn. I love it. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be giant.
Yeah.
It's going to be really big.
It's going to be what you want.
This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted Color Affection to be, so I'm really happy with it. Yay, Kimberly. Good pattern. That's Judy B. It's available for $5 on Ravelry, and it was kindly gifted to me by Kimberly. And it has this really pretty lace and cable section. I just love it. I think it's great. I made a little mistake in the cable, but in the lace and the cable, but I'm leaving it because you would never notice it unless I showed you. Where is it? Now I can't even find it. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
You can see it right here. You'll notice it looks like a bug because I just did the same thing like 4 times in a row. I don't care though. That's what makes this unique. So this is going to be my go-to fall wrap when I walk over to the school. I'm very excited about it. And the last thing on my needles I can't show you, but I showed it to Sheila. It's my secret knitting.
Pretty.
I love how it's coming out. I literally was 10 to 12 rows from being done with it yesterday, and I realized I had made a mistake at the beginning of the lace part because this is a shawlette with a lace edging. And I tried to fix it by dropping down the stitches, and it just made it worse because of the nature. There's yarn overs in there. It was not good. It was just too far down at that point for me to fix it. So I had to rip back the entire edging. It was a lot of yarn. And I was like, because I was seriously would have blocked it and had it done so that I could show it to the person who commissioned it. But I wanted to talk to you about that. I am going to need 2 to 3 test knitters who can knit a 400 yard fingering weight shawlette in like 2 to 3 weeks time. It's primarily stockinette, and it has Viennese lace on the edging. So you need to be able to do yarn overs,
Knit
decreases,
two together.
knit 2 together, knit 3. I think there might be some knit 3 togethers or some centered triple decreases. It will come with a chart and written instructions because the software that I use for charts automatically generates written instructions, and I will include both in the pattern. Yeah, I love that aspect of this software. And since I have been making these patterns up, this is a commissioned pattern, but I will be, as soon as this is off the needles, I'm going to start another shawlette pattern that's going to be a fingering weight shawlette, but it's going to be all over lace. I'm going to need test knitters going on, and Sheila, if she ever designs anything, might need test knitters. So I'm going to start a thread in the group called Test Knitters, and every time I need test knitters, I'm going to post the details of the project in the thread, and if you're interested, you can just post in the thread that you're interested. It will be so much easier for me to keep track of who wants to do it. And then you can just lock it. Yeah, I'll lock it. I'll lock it when I don't need people, and I'll open it up again when I do. And it'll just be so much easier for me to keep track of who's test knitting for me than trying to go through all my PMs. So if you have PM'd me in the past that you wanted to be a test knitter, post in this thread again to remind me so that I know, and I will, because I know there are some people that, there's one woman in particular, and I can't remember who you are, but I know I said that you could test knit this. Hopefully you'll remember that. Hopefully you're watching. But I am going to need it. I expect the sample piece will be done sometime this week. And the pattern will be basically done by that point because the software generates a lot of what I need to write down. So I need to show it to the person who commissioned it to see if it's what they had in mind and whether they want me to make any design changes. And then after that point, so maybe sometime next week, I'm going to need a couple of people who can finish it. I want to say by like the middle to the end of August, because I think this pattern is going to roll out in September.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Once the design is approved, the yarn, because it has custom yarn, the yarn can go ahead and be dyed. But I just want test knitters to make sure that there aren't any weird things that I did wrong again.
I'm going to bow out gracefully on this one.
Yeah, well, actually this one is really easy, but
I don't know if I'd make it in 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, maybe not.
Not with the way I'm knitting.
No, but I know there are knitters out there who can do that. And I'm just going to need it. It's not as urgent. I have to get the yarn approved and set to dye, and the design has to be approved before that happens in case we want to change anything about the yarn. And once that happens, I just need people to be able to finish it in 2 or 3 weeks so that I can make all the final changes and get all the photographs and everything for when it rolls out. And I'm thinking, I don't know why, but I'm thinking it's rolling out in September.
It would make sense.
So I need to make sure that I have the final pattern done.
And are you requiring, we had spoken, I believe, that it was gradient. Are you requiring them to use gradient?
No. You can use any yarn that you want.
Just curious.
It is designed for a gradient yarn, so you can use a gradient yarn, but it will work with
it will definitely
pretty much any
without,
yarn.
But
the sample is already, I'm knitting the sample, so that's with the gradient yarn. And I don't think there's going to be a change in the yarn. I love the yarn. I love the way that it worked out. The edging on it really does something for it. Like, it really, I was kind of worried about it until the edging came on, and I was like, oh, God, I really love this. And then I had to rip it all back. I should have brought it before I ripped it to show it to you. It was really pretty. So, yeah, I'll start that thread sometime this week, and if you have any interest in being a test knitter, and if you don't if you're interested in test knitting for something other than this project, still put your name in there and just say, like, if you design X, I'll be happy to test knit or whatever. Like, if you're a sock knitter,
yeah,
or, you know, and that way, if she designs a sock or something, we have a pool of people that are willing to design, to test knit that kind of thing.
Can't tell that she's trying to make me design something.
It's worthwhile.
I'll think about it more probably in September when the weather cools down.
And the kids are not home every day. Yeah. It's tougher to get
And
stuff
hopefully when
done.
my work schedule settles down, because right now, this is my 3rd week of doing 4 shifts. Yeah.
That's a lot.
So the good thing is I'm off next week.
But that's all I have on the needles, so I'm done with that.
Rate your date?
Me either.
I'm hoping to have a hat next week.
I'm not going to have anything finished for a while because, well, I mean, this might get done.
Nothing to show.
I can't show the finished knitting and because it's secret knitting.
We'll show it to you.
You'll see it eventually. Yeah, I love it.
So
I do have Whirlwind Romance. So as you know, I'm doing Tour de Fleece. And if you are not a spinner, but you are interested in what people are spinning, you can check out the Tour de Fleece thread that we have going right now in our group.
200 posts.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome. Everybody just posts their progress. So I didn't get to spin for the 4 days that I went down to my parents' house this week. I had to get my kids back, which I did. But I did manage to finish a total of 8 ounces of Into the World Romney top in the Inara colorway.
It looks pretty good on the color too, on the screen.
Yeah, I know. This is pretty accurate. I love it. It reminds me of Indian corn. I had a weird thing happen. So if you are a more experienced, this is the skein that had the weird thing happen to it. You can't tell now at all, but it totally did. If you're a more experienced spinner, tell me if you know why this happened. So I did a pretty loosely spun single. You can kind of see it here. From the fold, long draw, pretty much. I mean, sometimes it went from the end, but I was pretty consistent with it. Was happy with the single. It was a lofty single. Man, this yarn is itchy. Just having it touch my arm, I'm like, ooh. Not a big fan of the Romney base. So anyway, yeah, I got these lofty singles, really happy with them. I was spinning to get a thickness for a 3-ply Aran worsted weight yarn, which I pretty much got. And I chain plied it so that it would keep the colors mostly together because this had a lot of you can see even in this, there was a lot of variegation. And I felt like if I plied it with another one, it was just going to be way too much going on, and I wanted it to have more solid runs of color. So as soon as I started chain plying, the yarn kinked up so bad, it wouldn't even go in through the orifice. Like, it kinked up between me and the orifice. And it was to the point where I actually thought I must have started plying it in the wrong direction because I did that one time and that happened, and I have the yarn. I should show it. It's like I have a little skein of this horrible yarn that I didn't even realize I was plying backwards. I was like, what is wrong with this? And I just kept going. This time, because it was kinked up so bad, I actually stopped after about 4 yards and I unplied the Navajo chain plying. I unplied it. It took me like 25 minutes to get it undone. And I checked the way that the twist was on the single, and I checked the way that I was spinning, and I started again, and it was still doing it. So I tried a lot slower, and I barely put any twist into the plying, and it came out fine. I mean, if you look at it now, you would not know that was crazy twisty yarn. There's a couple of little places where it's kinked. But, like, for the most part, it came out in the wash.
Well, that's good.
I did not think it was going to come out in the wash. I thought it was going to be, like, Rastafarian dreadlocks. That's what it looked like. It was really crazy. So the second one, I spun exactly the same way, except that when I got to the plying section, I wised up, and I used a slower whirl, and I didn't get twist happening as much of a problem. But even then, I still had to treadle really slowly so it wouldn't kink up. So I'm wondering, is this just something that happens with Romney, or what did I do? Like, what caused that? It's never happened to me before. I put a thread about it in the Spinners Study group because they are actually spinning to study Romney this month. So I'm like, does anyone know what I did? I mean, is it like...
Is it the fiber? Is it...
how I spun it is a combination.
Right.
Like I've never, I chain ply all the time. I have never seen that happen before. The only time I ever had finished yarn like that was when I was plying in the wrong direction. So it was bizarre, man. Anyway, that's this. I have officially finished 24 ounces of my 32, so I have 8 more ounces to go. Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have 8 more ounces to go. And I just received my Into the World Club, and I'll show you that in Baubles and Bling, but I have spun this much of the next 4 ounces. You can't really see this. It's really pretty. This has a lot of different colors in it. I am spinning this to be a natural 3-ply, not a chain 3-ply, so it's pretty thin. I have divided each bump into 3 separate things. And I'm going to ply them together to keep the color runs together, but they will blend at the places where the length, because it won't be exactly the same. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
Okay.
And this is Rambouillet, which I love. So that's it for my Whirlwind Romance.
Future dates. Okay. So to go off with the contest that we had what should Sheila knit next? Because I need something quick. I need a quickie. One night stand.
One night stand.
So my brother Tommy is moving from Arizona to here, and Boston is a cold climate typically.
Not right now.
Well, not even this past winter. I don't think
No.
my kids wore maybe 2 hats the whole time. We didn't need to.
Crazy winter.
So my brother is one of those males who has lost his hair, his receding hairlines up to here, and he shaves it. Both my brothers do. So I'm actually excited that now I have someone else to knit for hats, because my boys are pretty set on hats. So this is what I'm going to use. And
your boys do have hair.
They do have hair for now. Can't guarantee that my genes didn't get passed down to them. Zachary's got a big bushy head of hair right now. This is some, it's wool, and I want to say it was the name was a Wendy wool, and I've used it before. It's an old wool. Smells sheepy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not bad. It's a wool. So I'm going to use this to make a hat. I haven't decided what hat. He will wear the watchman's hat, the ribs, where you fold them up. My other brother doesn't like them, so I may just do a 2x2 rib on this. I did do a hat. What was the hat I did last time and I ripped out because my brother didn't like it? It was too big. Remember that hat? It's too big.
Cousteau.
Yes, the Cousteau. I might do that one again because I really enjoyed the decreases on that. That came out really nice.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. But it's going to be a simple hat. And where I am on vacation, we are driving down to New York City and then driving down to New Jersey.
You're going to have time.
I'm going to have time. I will be driving at some point. I think the first leg of the journey I'll be sleeping because we're leaving Sunday morning after our overnight shift.
Oh.
So I'm hoping to have a finished object for you. I should probably bring 2 of these so that I can do 2 hats because hats are simple enough, especially in a worsted weight. And this is a little thicker than a worsted. So I'm going to be doing a hat. Haven't decided which. I may also do the one that my brother likes with the little lattice work in the front.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
I can't remember that one.
That
Not
one
the Cool House.
Not Cool House. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I made it twice.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then also, Friday starts the Ravellenics. Friday starts the opening ceremony for the Olympics, which then starts the Ravellenics. And I am in the Blue Moon Fiber Arts group. I thought I'd do a sock, but since I'm still working on one, I don't see that being finished by then. I am going to use my heavyweight, which I at one point thought I'd do a sock, to make a cowl. And I think I'm going to do a Mobius cowl. Probably use Kat Bordy's simple cast-on method with that cowl and just go from there.
Sounds good.
So that's what I'm planning on doing with this. This is Mudslide colorway. I bought this off of D-Stash from Ravelry. I really like it. It would be a nice cowl to go with anything, really.
Yeah.
So that's my other plan right now. It may just be knitting where I just knit. And if anyone's seen a Mobius, so one half of my cowl will look knit, one half will look garter, because it's a reverse. The way it shows, it's, infinity. So, yeah, that's my future dates.
I don't have a specific future date, although I was chatting with my friend Lois, Knitting's My Bag, over the weekend, and we thought that an awesome pattern name would be Oasis in Egypt, because I said that my knitting was like an oasis in the middle of everything that was
Chaos.
going on, in the middle of chaos. Yeah. So I might call my next project Oasis or something like that, and we'll see how that goes. I should be able to start. I've already swatched the lace for that because I was thinking of using it on the commission project. So I'm probably start designing that. That'll be on the needles soon. But other than that, I don't have any specific plans to knit anything right now. It's too hot. Plus, I still have Tour de Fleece. It makes it hard for me to even think about knitting. So that's it for me. My future dates.
So for Crushes and Heartbreaks, I'm going on a week's vacation. At least for my job, which I'm excited. It starts Sunday to Saturday. I think I took a week off. We are going down to New York City. We're going to spend one night in New York. And then we're going to Seaside, New Jersey. My husband wanted to go to Atlantic City, and I've spoke to people. And they said there's really not much for kids at Atlantic City. My neighbor suggested Seaside, New Jersey, which is boardwalk, has a carnival, as we call it, amusement park, and has other things. So what we figured we'd do is go down there for a day. Go down to Seaside. We've already have the hotel booked. And then go to Atlantic City for a day, because it's only about an hour drive, is what I've been told. And we booked this place that has a suite for 6 people. So that way...
Awesome.
Yeah, we could all be in one little suite. Because there's going to be my family, which is 4, my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law. And one of the suite rooms has 2 double beds, which will be my family.
Yeah.
And then the other room has a king-size bed, which his mom and his sister can share.
That's cool.
So we're looking forward to that. Some of my heartbreaks is we had an issue with the work phones. The system went down, so we were answering them. The way that my job works, I work for an answering service, and I work on a computer. So when the phone rings, it's a beep on a computer, and it tells me what account to answer for.
Right.
Dr. Jones.
Yeah, would be like...
And it tells you what you need to ask. Well, the other day the phones went down, so that we had to use, the old princess phones, just a regular dial, old-fashioned. And we had to answer it as answering service and figure out who they were looking for.
Oh, God.
What doctor are you looking for? What's the name of the practice you were calling? That lasted until 1 a.m., so I had company until 1 a.m. But, so that was funny. And a continuation of the soccer saga.
Oh, no.
I got an email the other day saying that, actually, he called, and I ignored his call. I was chicken. Saying that they were still looking for a head coach, and if I had a change of heart. So I emailed him that night saying, sorry, I missed your call. I was sleeping. I work overnights. My answer's still no. I gave him some suggestions. He emailed me back saying, we're all set for the coaches. We just need administrative. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I'm still sticking to no. But it's funny to see what they keep throwing back at you. They're really trying to throw the guilt into you. And my
good
son
for you for standing up. I'm proud of you.
I have to honestly admit, I'm like this close to giving in, but my husband would kill me.
I would kill you too. We would kill you together.
If I could guarantee that it was only computer and administrative, I wouldn't mind at all, because I wouldn't have to coach. I would probably just have to be there for the games.
Right.
Which I'd be there anyways. But I really enjoy, my son has been doing soccer practice over the summer. I really enjoy dropping him off. Max, shh. Really enjoy dropping him off, and I can't knit because it's hot and humid right now, and I'm not going to sit with the car running.
Yeah.
So I've been reading. Today I went to the library. Actually, today I filed my nails. They're getting long. And it's been nice to just drop him off.
Yeah.
And not have to do anything.
Yeah.
So, those are my crushes and heartbreaks.
Let's see. My crushes and heartbreaks. My big crush is that my brother is out of the hospital. Thank you for all the well wishes. He was released last Thursday, and he is recuperating at my parents' house. And hopefully, he's just only going to get better from here. So, thank you for all the kind wishes. It was a tough week flying down to get my kids, but we're back now, and hopefully things can sort of go back to normal, so I don't have that added stressor in my life anymore. And then my knee had another PT yesterday. Went on the elliptical. I did a mile on the elliptical, which was good. Like, it was really good. It was good to get my heart rate up. I really like being on the elliptical. I have to work out a way to convince my kids to come to the gym with me and go in the babysitting. We have a 9-year-old. They don't really like to go in the babysitting at the gym, but I can't really let them be in the gym because they're too little. It's a whole thing. So I'm going to try to work that out, or I'm going to try to go at night after my husband gets home from work, so that I can try to do like half an hour on the elliptical a couple nights a week.
Okay.
And then I also learned how to use 3 different weight machines, which I can use at the gym, and I really like that. I don't even know why this is true, but my leg always feels better after I work out like that. You'd think that my muscles would be sore, but it almost makes them feel better. Isn't that weird? They don't feel sore. I don't know. And I was talking with my therapist because I had a really good leg week, and then yesterday my leg was just cranky. And she said it's humid. Apparently he doesn't like the humidity either.
Another thing,
Crank Frank. I've named him Frank. Frank, the cranky old man. He hates humidity. So when Frank gets...
Don't blame Frank. I am not a big fan of it either.
But Frank hates everything. Frank hates the beach. I mean, who hates the beach? Frank.
A lot of people do.
So, yeah, that's actually true. So anyway, I'm going to try to beat Frank into submission by going to the gym.
Oh, there you go.
And I also was able to modify my 30-minute shred workout. So I'll be doing that too. I'm really happy about that. My therapist was great. I explained to her the entire thing because I've done it so much. I know exactly how the routine goes for level 1. And she told me exactly how to fix it so that it won't do anything bad to my knee.
Good.
I also saw my doctor for my knee this week. Everything looks perfect. He said it's better than my other knee because I have naturally loose ligaments in my knee. And this one, the person that so wonderfully donated their ligament to me had better ligaments than me.
Oh, good.
So now I have a really good leg and like a crummy leg. And so that's going really well. And my last heartbreak is that I had to rip out so much of that secret knitting. That was sad. But other than that, that's all that's going on with me.
Baubles and bling, I've got nothing.
You will have something soon, though, right?
I may have something on my way home. No, I won't. I'll have it the first week of August, most likely. I am due for my next shipment of my Blue Moon Fiber Hearts. And again, I can't tell you how much I appreciate everyone for chipping that in. I love it, love it.
I'm excited. I get excited to see what it's going to be.
And so I should have it. It should be shipping next week. Because next week is the last week. Although technically there's a few more days. I haven't looked to see if there's any clues for the anticipation of it. What was last shipment was blues and ocean. Shipment before that was springy. So I'm not sure. It's still kind of summery, but maybe fall.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I don't know. We'll see.
I forgot to say my big heartbreak. I don't even think you know about this.
I was going to say it's not written down.
No, I forgot to write it down. It was so bad that, like, I want to put it out of my mind. So I was going to soak this yarn. I have a big ceramic, an old-fashioned ceramic bowl that I fill with water. And actually, I was going to go photograph the yarn. So I had 2 skeins of yarn in my hand. I had my iPhone in the other hand. And I walked through the kitchen, and I saw the big ceramic bowl of water, the basin. And I was like, I should really dump that out because it's just sitting there. I don't know why. Instead of putting everything down and going over to dump out the basin, I tried to dump it out I put everything in one hand like this, and I tried to dump it into the sink, and it started to dump on the floor because it's round and it, you know. So then I leaned forward with the hand that was holding my iPhone and my yarn to dump it in, and my iPhone fell into the basin of water and was completely submerged. Completely. And I was like, no! And I grabbed it really fast and pulled it out and took the case off and dried it off and powered it down and called my husband. And I'm like, oh my God, my cell phone just went underwater. And he was like, in the pool? And I said, no, in the sink. So we dried it in rice until my husband got home. And then my husband took my phone to his lab where they have a desiccator, like a machine that desiccates things.
It's a desiccator.
It's like a machine that has a vacuum in it.
Oh, all right.
And it makes all the water like draw out, and then you put like this silica gel in there. And so he put my phone in the desiccator so that it got completely dry. But before he could do that, I had to take the SIM card out. And in order to get the SIM card out, you have to poke this little pin in this hole, and this drawer comes out, and it's really tiny, and you have to pull it out with your fingernails, and it was a huge thing. So I'm holding my iPhone top to bottom like this, and I'm trying to work on that. And I didn't realize that I accidentally powered it back on.
Oh, no.
So it powered back on, and then it wouldn't power off again. So I'm like, that can't be good. And Jim's like, just don't touch it anymore. Take the SIM card out. I'll do the desiccator. So he desiccated it overnight. And it works, right? He's like, I'm calling you from your cell phone. I'm like, great, it works. He gives it back to me. But I noticed something odd about it. I'm holding it, and I want to make sure I can hear the ringtone, and I'm pressing the volume buttons, and nothing's happening. And I'm like, oh my God. So my phone can play sound to the headphones, if I have a headphone in the jack, and it can play through my car, but I can't make it make noise like out loud, except for the ringtone, thank God. If it rings, I can hear it. And the alarm works. But if you tweet me, if you're like one of the 3 people in the world that text me, if you're one of the 3 people in the world that text me, it just vibrates. It won't make the sound. If I put the headphones in, I can hear it, but it's not playing. It won't play certain things out of the external speaker. And it's because it thinks that I either have headphones in or that it's docked. So I've ruined either the whole volume thing with the headphone jack and the volume thing, or the little thing that you shove the dock in. One of the two. I've tried everything. I have blown the air. That's one thing. I've brushed out the contacts with an old toothbrush. I have done everything. I've rebooted it. I've hard rebooted it. I reset it to the original factory settings. The only thing left for me to do is to wipe the phone completely and start it over from new and see if that fixes it, but I don't think it will. So I am going to have to go. I mean, I can still use the phone. It mostly works, but it's kind of annoying not to know when people are like texting me or when there's a notification on my phone, like
a
appointment reminder. Right. Yeah, like I can't hear it. I mean, if I'm holding it in my hand, I'll know because it vibrates. But as a woman, I don't have my phone in my pocket. I have it in my purse.
Right.
So I have to go to Apple Genius and have them try to figure out which of the things is causing it. It will not be covered under the warranty because I got it wet. I'm going to just be honest with them and tell them that's what happened. I am going to beg them to either fix it or let me buy a new one at the rate that you get with your contract change, which is like $200. Because we found out if they don't give me that rate, I will have to pay $600 to replace this phone. Or wait until the next generation comes out, at which point in time I'll be able to buy a cheaper version of this phone.
Right. Okay.
Which neither one. Or my friend Lance can try to take it apart and replace those two things, which I can get the parts on the internet, but I'm a little, wary of doing that. Because I could end up with no phone. At least I have a phone that mostly works.
Right.
So that is my heartbreak. And the lesson is, folks, don't be lazy. Don't do a lazy man's load. Put your things down and just use both hands. Don't try to do 8 million things. And don't hold your phone like this next to a basin of water because it'll just shoot right in.
My neighbor was at their pool and she had just lathered up with sunblock, grabbed her phone, went whoop, right into the pool.
I can't believe it works as well as it does. It's like unbelievable.
A lot of people do that. The big thing is getting it dry ASAP, not to let it wait.
And also, don't power your phone on.
Yeah, that's the really big thing.
That probably fried those two areas.
Yep.
So powering on like that, it was bad. Very, very bad. I was like, no! But it was too late. I was pushing right on the button that made it power on.
So Baubles and Bling, I got nothing, but hopefully within the next week or two I will have something.
This is my Baubles and Bling. I got the July Club from Into the World. And this month's colorway was Dyer's Choice, and it is called Captain Tight Pants. And it is from the character on Serenity. I'm not a Serenity fan.
I don't know Serenity, but
Captain
name.
Tight Pants is a hilarious name.
It's pretty.
It is so rainbowy and gorgeous, but muted. It's not like crazy rainbow.
Yeah, muted rainbow.
And it's Rambouillet, so it's really soft. Love it. And that is what I am spinning right now. I bumped it ahead of the Polymer Silk Blend from one of the earlier clubs in the colorway was that? It was one of the Doctor Who colorways, I think, because I like this so much more. So this is probably about half an ounce. I didn't get a lot of spinning done because I was working on my secret knitting. But I'm pretty confident I'm going to at least finish my 2 pounds.
Oh, good.
And this is going to be a 3-ply fingering weight when it's done. At least that's my goal.
You gonna Navajo or?
No, I'm going to do a natural 3-ply,
Okay.
which is I'm spinning 3 bobbins and I'm going to ply them together. And I'm going to try to keep the colors together, but because, you know, the amount of fiber that I pulled apart is not going to be exact, there will be some barber pulling in between, which I think will be interesting. So we'll see how it looks. It's an experiment. I've never done a natural 3-ply trying to keep the color runs together before. So it's kind of an experiment for me, which is what I've been doing with my spinning pretty much since I started, is trying something new. I am thrilled about Rambouillet. I spun some from Gnome Spun.
Yeah.
That, the Dahlia?
The yellow.
Daylily. Daylily. It was yellow, yes. And I knit a hat out of it for my son.
Yeah.
And I loved spinning that. And I spun that on the Tradi, the Ashford tradition that you loaned me. So this is, I love it. It's spinning. It's wonderful to spin, and I love Into the World. Thank you, Chris. That's it for my Baubles and Bling.
So on to Gossip and Innuendo.
Kind of let me go first because mine is quick.
All right, go ahead.
I just wanted to say very quickly, I love all the pictures posted in the Tour de Fleece thread. I know I can't talk. That is awesome. It was really, I love looking at the progress. I love looking at everyone spinning and the different things that you're doing. So keep them coming, and we'll do a drawing probably the first week of August.
All right, so my Gossip and Innuendo is, it's that time of year around. I'm sure
Again.
I'm sure you've seen it on other podcasts. Lynn Zimmerman has a blog called The Knitting Triathlete, and she's getting her team Cupcake Mafia, together again to do the Denver Oyster, which is a series of relays and competitions, and she's raising money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Make-A-Wish Foundation grants wishes to chronic illness children, people who have illnesses or issues that they're stuck with for the rest of their life. My son, for anyone who is fairly new to the podcast, was born with a heart condition and had surgery at 6 days old, and has now had 2 liver transplants.
The second one was, sorry.
The first one was due to liver cancer, which was a complication of his heart defect because of the hospital stay. The second one was done in 2010. We'll be celebrating 2 years in October. And that was due to complications after the first transplant. He had cirrhosis, had hepatopulmonary disease, where he wasn't getting enough oxygen through his body. Nothing to do with breathing, but his body's vessels were not going through the lungs to get the oxygen.
Yeah, he had to carry around an oxygen machine for several months right before his transplant.
And so the Make-A-Wish Foundation is dear to my heart because Zachary was granted a wish when he was almost 4. And we got a castle for the backyard. And that castle has swings, climbing wall, a fireman's pole, slide. And the kids, it's basically a fort. The kids love it. And they still use it today, although recently not so much because the pool, our neighbor's pool, has been more of interest right now. But they do use it. So Make-A-Wish is dear to my heart. This charity is for the Denver Make-A-Wish. And last year we raised over, not we, the knitting community raised over $8,000 or close to it, enough to grant 2 wishes. A wish is about $3,500 to $4,000 per wish. And this year her goal is $10,000, and I think she'll be able to make it.
I think so.
So what that entails is if you donate $5, you will get the pattern My Hope that was Laura Linneman from the Knit Girls created, and is dropped something, and is giving out if you donate $5.
Yeah, you automatically get a copy.
Exactly. $10 will get you the pattern and an entry into some prize drawings. Each additional $10 will get you more entries. So if you donate $20, you'll get 2 entries. $30 will get you 3 entries into the main drawing and 1 entry into a special drawing, which is still, they're working on getting donations, but at least one of the prizes will be a skein of Fiber Nymph's Nyan Cat, which is
Everybody loves
very
that.
Popular or very high in demand. And I'm assuming, and I'm not 100% sure of this, but I would assume that if you donated $60, you would get 2 entries. But if Lynn Zimm is watching this and that is not correct, then I apologize.
And you can get the details on her website.
And her website is knittingtriathlete.com, but we will post this. And again, it's Lynn Zimm on Ravelry, and I am planning on donating something. I just haven't decided what.
Me too.
So,
we each donated last year. And
I donated a skein of wool mice, and you donated a pattern up to $10.
Donated a cup too. I can't remember. I bought patterns for winners, at least one person. It might have been 2 people. I can't remember now.
I don't remember, but we'll be doing something. My thought is something that I've made that is sitting in my bin, because I make things for the bin. So I'll have to go through my bin and see what is worthy of donating.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put that out there for Lynn Zimm. We'd like to help out with the Make-A-Wish for Denver Oyster.
Just because it's so close to home here.
And we use our wish granted every day.
Yeah.
And also, not to leave on a somewhat sad note, but not sad note, we have a winner for the sparkle yarn that I showed you last week. And that was for anyone who posted in a thread what I should knit next. And the sparkle hand spun is Shady Fibers hand spun yarn. It's a wool polewurst, superwash merino, alpaca, mohair, and angelina. It's 3-ply, approximately 271 yards, and it's an Aran weight. So the winner of this should be able to make anything and enter it into the knit along.
Yeah, you could make a hat.
So the winner is post number 31. We did this off-site, off-camera, because it takes so much time sometimes. So post number 31, which is Jojo B0304, Joanne from New York, and her suggestion to me was to knit wristlets, which I think is a great suggestion. I may do that later on, but I am going, with all the suggestions, I am going for a quickie hat. So, Joanne, when you see this, post PM me. Actually, maybe I'll give it PM Wendy, because I am gone next week.
Yeah, PM me.
PM Wendy so that she can get it out to you, because I wouldn't
PM
be able to get it.
PM me with your real life name and address.
Well, her real life name is Joanne, but PM.
But I mean like your whole name.
Yeah, snail mail address, and she will get it right out to you.
I will.
All right. And on that note, I think we're done.
Yep, I think we are.
So thank you for watching. Next week, I hear some thunder rolling, so it's probably a good idea to hurry up and get off. Next week, I am on vacation, and I will be in New Jersey until Thursday, so our plans are hopefully to record Friday.
And if that changes, I might record by myself, or we might record earlier. Something will happen.
I can't record earlier because
that's not going to happen at all.
No, because we're leaving Sunday.
So then I might record by myself if that happens.
But we're shooting for Friday.
Yep. So don't be surprised if you don't see anything.
So if you need anything, go to knit1heart2.blogspot.com. Contact information is above my head. Anything dealing with the Ravelry group, Cafe Press, or donations is on the side of Wendy. iTunes, leave a star rating or a comment. We really appreciate them. And thanks for watching us.
Thank you for watching,
Have
everybody.
a good week. Stay cool for everyone.
Yeah, stay cool.
Knit with heart.
Bye.